let's take a look at the dramatic function of the different characters in Inspector Gould. Firstly, looking at the dramatic function of Inspector Gould, Gerald, and the older Burlings. The older Burlings and Gerald. Neither Gerald nor the older Burlings accept any responsibility for Eva's death, even after they're told the consequence of their actions. Both also refuse to acknowledge their wrongdoings, meaning their illegal or dishonest behaviour. The audience cannot be sure that Mr. Burling, Mrs. Burling, and Gerald won't repeat these actions in the future. They can be called antagonists because they seem to cause problems in the text and stand in the way of the inspector's attempts to make wrongs right. Inspector Gould is the hero of the story. He tells the characters of their misdeeds, their illegal or evil acts. He encourages them to change their ways and become better people. So let's recap that. What's the dramatic function of the elder Burlings and Gerald? They don't accept any responsibility for Eva's death. They refuse to acknowledge their wrongdoings. The audience cannot be sure they won't repeat these actions in the future, and they could be called antagonists. Which of these statements are true about the older Burlings and Gerald? Do they apologise for their wrongdoings, or do they refuse to accept them? Correct answer is they refuse to accept them. Do they help the inspector achieve his mission of righting wrongs, or could they be called antagonists, causing problems standing in the inspector's way? Correct answer is they can be called antagonists. Do they accept any responsibility, or do they not accept responsibility? Correct answer is they don't accept responsibility. Now let's have a look at the dramatic function of Eric and Sheila. The younger Burlings become more likeable and they mature throughout the play, because they act as agents of change in the play. They accept responsibility. Despite their evil actions, they become more likeable because they accept responsibility. They also encourage their parents to do so. Mature. We feel that Sheila and Eric have learned something from the experience. They begin as spoiled, self-indulgent and irresponsible children. Self-indulgent meaning they tend to do exactly what they want. But because of Inspector Gould stepping in, they change and become more mature young adults. The audience trusts that Sheila and Eric will not make the same mistakes again. Agents of change. We might see them as agents of change in the play because they help to change attitudes, even if their views aren't taken up by the older characters. So let's recap the dramatic function of Eric and Sheila. They mature. Because of Inspector Gould stepping in, they change and become more mature young adults. They begin as spoiled, self-indulgent and irresponsible children, and feel they've learned something from the experience. They accept responsibility. They encourage their parents to accept responsibility, and this makes them more likeable. They're agents of change. They help to change attitudes, even if their views aren't taken up by the older characters. Now let's take a look at foils in Inspector Gould. Foils are characters that act as contrast to other characters. Eva Smith versus the upper classes. She acts as a foil for the upper classes. She contrasts them by her own life experience and the hopelessness she faces through no fault of her own. Sheila and Eric versus the older Burlings and Gerald. Sheila and Eric act as foils for the older Burlings and Gerald. They start play as very similar characters and change and develop into caring people who accept responsibility for their actions, whereas their parents and Gerald do not. Inspector Gould versus Mr. Burling. Inspector Gould is a fair, responsible character who cares about the welfare, meaning the health of others. Mr. Burling is egotistical, self-centered, selfish, and actively dislikes other classes. Let's just recap that. Looking at foils in Inspector Gould. Inspector Gould versus Mr. Burling. Mr. Burling is egotistical, selfish, and actively dislikes the lower classes, whereas Inspector Gould is a fair, responsible character who cares about the healthcare of others. In what way does Eva Smith contrast with the upper classes? In her life experience and the hopelessness she faces. What are foils in literature? Are they central characters? Characters that act as contrast to other characters? Characters that murder other characters, or villains? The correct answer is characters that act as contrast to other characters. And the different foils in Inspector Gould are Eva Smith versus the upper classes, Inspector Gould versus Mr. Burling, and Sheila and Eric versus the older Burlings and Gerald.